Welcome back, Bravehearts, to the New World Health Live Q&A. And this is a show that we'd like to welcome anybody on with any questions. And now, we have this every Tuesday. Now, if it starts becoming overwhelmed with questions, once we get the ball rolling here, we will actually do it more often. Now, next week, we will be on Zoom. So we will be having people come live on Zoom, but we weren't able to get that up and running. This is our new set, and by next week, we'll have, are you ready for this? We'll have 4 sets that we'll be working. One will be about product, and we'll let people know, because some people won't want to come on because they'll just go, I don't want to know about products. But then there's people that want to know what product does what and why and how it brings the body back into alignment. Okay, and then we have another set you're going to love. It has every diagram of the human body, and it shows every joint. It shows every organ. I am going to take away the mystery of health. Isn't it kind of funny that health is so mysterious that all the greatest minds have come together and nobody can figure it out? What do you think, Lisa?
I think you're absolutely right. You're nailing it.
Yeah, and I got to tell you right now, you know what? They do it on purpose, because guess what? Don't you feel a little bit foolish that you don't even know where your stomach is? And you keep saying, I've got stomach pain. Meanwhile, it's coming actually from your large intestine most of the times. Okay? It's not coming from your gut. Your gut's pretty big. What do we call your gut? Right? So it's either coming from you swallowing emotional negativity that you can't process. And that could be in your stomach. And then we might want to look at some therapeutic vomiting. And then if we don't catch it before it gets through the stomach, then it goes through 22 feet of the small intestine, which creates hell on earth. And then when it gets into the large intestine, that stinking thinking is rotting. And then you're going to blow up like a bubble. And it's going to not smell that nice, right? Because stinking thinking doesn't come out the other end as pretty as a rose. Okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to take questions from Facebook. So I can't take them from anywhere else. And so if you want to come on Facebook, and if you're not on Facebook, well, we're kind of out of luck today. We are on Rumble though, right? And we're on Rumble right now, and we're on Facebook. And I think that's it for now, for today. But we will be up on Zoom, so we will give you the Zoom link. After this show, it's not going to happen again. You'll be able to come on Zoom, come on live, ask your questions. But for today, it's me and my phone and you putting questions up on Facebook. All right, so I've welcomed Lisa on the show today. And Lisa's going to be talking about just about where she was before she started her little journey, okay? And her amazing journey, I should say, and she's going to talk about that. So Lisa, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and the new life that you're trying to create?
Well, I think the first thing is like I always knew we weren't being told the truth about our own body. And I would always challenge that even as a child. And being in different situations health-wise, I decided that I needed to step up my game and just keep on asking the questions. And then I would get sick and keep on asking the questions and then progress throughout my life and not feel right. And not connecting at the time that emotion has everything to do with your physical being. And now that Daryl has taught me so much about that, it's totally changed my life. I'm able to figure things out quicker, much quicker than before, and not sit in negative frequency emotions, and be able to work with that in my body. So instead of feeling stressed out about something and restricting on my muscles, I can actually connect to my lion heart breathing and relax and use my little love band here and just connect to who I really am authentically and unapologetically, and just be me. So there's a little bit about that. I'm still working through some of my things that I've collected throughout the years that were stuck energy inside my body And that's why I love being a part of the non-surgical team. I've already completed it 3 times, the course, and looking forward to continuing
Becoming a
my
master
journey.
trainer.
Master trainer, I am, yeah.
So here's the thing, and I want you to understand this, and when I say this, people do end up taking this wrong. And please do not take this wrong. You don't know until you know. You're not awake until you're awake. And if you consider yourself awake and you're part of the majority, then you are in a coma. And please do not take this wrong. And as far as health goes, a medical doctor doesn't even know what health is. And to think about it, you go to a medical doctor, they're not in the health business. They're in the drug business. So as far as people being actually conscious of their own thinking, I mean, who's conscious of their thinking? So diet has nothing to do with health. That's what they say. Detoxification has nothing to do with health. Meanwhile, our food's being poisoned, the water's being poisoned, the air's being poisoned. But first and foremost, your mind's being poisoned because guess what? Most people don't know where their organs are in their body. Most people don't know why the calcium is being pulled from their bones and they have osteoporosis, osteopenia. They don't know why they have arthritis, which is inflammation of the joint. They don't know why they have colitis, sinusitis. They don't even know what these names mean. And every time that somebody's told that they have a disease, which is only a symptom from not being in alignment because you don't know how to love, honor, and respect yourself from the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes. That's the only reason. I can show anybody on this planet how to reverse, I'd say almost 100% of all disease. And it's not because I don't heal anyone. I don't cure anyone. You know what? When I let that go a quarter of a century ago, I just want to be a healer. Really? Is that what you want to be? No, there's no such thing as somebody being a healer. We can show people how to heal and stay there. There's no such thing as a cure, because a cure is only momentary unless you've got a perfect day strategy that you're going to repeat every day. The things that get you well will keep you well. But understand something, there can only be one master, and that can only be you. It can only be you mastering your mind, which masters your body. And let me tell you something, as far as health goes, people don't know zero about health. They know less than zero. And why do they know less than zero? And we're talking about the majority. They know less than zero because the protocols that people have been given are actually killing them. So take a look at what we would call our health manual, health guide, that every woman is given, and then, go look after your husband, go look after your children, because men aren't awake enough to even look for the health manual. And what are they doing? They're not even on guard for the home yet. They're not trying to protect the home, make sure that the home only is filled with love and healthy, high vibrational foods, and let's get rid of the EMFs, let's get rid of the blue light. Who's standing guard here? So as far as I'm concerned, the majority of the population have moronic beliefs. Moronic beliefs. People are not stupid. Their beliefs can be stupid. Their beliefs can be toxic. But what you put in the computer called your brain, because your brain is only a computer and it's a chemist. Did you know that your life, you're going to love this one. Well, maybe you won't. Your life is dependent on the chemicals that you tell your brain to make. So if you tell your brain to make histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol all the time, then you're living in hell. You already have hell. If you're getting your brain to create dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, which spells dose, are you getting your daily dose all throughout the day? Are you connected to your Lionheart breathing? Have you stopped reacting to people? And what are you attached to? Are you attached to suffering, or are you attached to being happy? Because for God's sakes, if you want to be happy, you better also decide not to be right. Did you get that? You cannot be right and be happy on this planet, because the majority of the population is not going to think properly to be happy or healthy. Did you get that? It's not going to change. Listen, I have so many friends and family throughout the world, And the reality is all of them are waiting for the world to change. They're waiting for someone to be their hero. It's not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's a movie, or it's very short-lived, okay? Because people go on to living their own lives, don't they? So you're not going to have somebody there protecting, respecting, and honoring you when you should be doing it. It's your job. What do you think, Lisa?
Absolutely. You're responsible.
Yeah, you are responsible. And you know what?
And you can't
Guess
blame
what?
yourself or shame yourself because you really didn't know it until you know it. And then once you know it, then you need to start every day, 1%, 1%, 1%.
1% every day. And here's the deal. Right now, the majority is irresponsible. So you need to understand that the majority are never going to change. Now you're going to go, you don't know what you're talking about, Dr. Wolf. Well, I don't know. I've been here, and I can remember back as far as when I was 4.5, 5 years old, and I have not seen the world change at all when it comes to dysfunctional beliefs that harm people on a mental, physical, and spirit level. And that's going to continue. But the reality is that your world could change right now. Right now. Because what you perceive, what you focus on, the filter you have, why don't you mind your own business and say, I am going to be selfish enough today and every day to work on creating my world, and the energy that I have, I'm going to recycle that, okay? I'm going to recycle that, okay, instead of just giving it out to people who actually aren't ready to hear or see or feel that there's a better life ahead of us. And that is the bottom line.
Absolutely.
So anyways, Betty, this is on Facebook. I'm only doing questions on Facebook today, but I promise you I'll have a big screen, a big Zoom screen, okay? And we'll have it there for everybody to come on Zoom from many different platforms, and that'll be our next show. And we might have another show this week. I don't know. We've got a lot going on here, okay? We are, like I said, there's a new show coming, right?
Yes.
And that's called Braveheart Women, okay? And Braveheart Women is exactly what it is. You know, I don't know if they'll let me on the show or not. I don't know if I'm feminine enough, but I'm going to try to squeeze on there sometimes. But no, it'll be their show. And after today's show, we're having a meeting and with the Braveheart Women that have decided to become permanent residents in Mexico. And understand something, we can help you become permanent resident here. We can help you get established. We can find you an apartment from $250 up, correct?
Yes.
Do not worry, okay? When you come down here, it's like the red carpet, is it?
Yes.
It's easier than living in any other country, is it? And you know what? Forget about all the fearful things that people tell you because it's not true. Have you ever feel threatened here?
I've never felt threatened here.
No, by anything. Not by the government, not by the cartel, not by, well, maybe by a couple people that have come here from other countries. Okay, all right. Betty, my elderly mother has heel spurs. Now, before we go any further, a heel spur is actually a calcium deposit. Now, has anybody ever owned a boat? If you let the boat stay in the ocean long enough, it will actually, you'll get barnacles growing on the bottom
Yes.
of a boat. So those barnacles are actually calcium deposits. Okay, now, it's like coral. Coral's made out of calcium, and it will grow anywhere. So, but what she's got, those bone spurs, okay, in the back of her heel, man, she can hardly even walk. I'm going to just tell you something right now. That calcium is being pulled because of from the actual bones in the foot, because of the inflammation that your mother has, okay? And because of the inflammation, it's creating dehydration. And if she continues with the inflammation, it wears away, okay, the tendons and ligaments until they become brittle and they will actually rip. Now, instead of them ripping right away, let's take some of the bone calcium from the bones in her feet to buffer down the pH so that it's not acidic, because very high acidity creates inflammation, which means inflame, which means we are burning her tendons and ligaments in her foot like a barbecue. And when you do that, those tendons and ligaments shrink until a person can no longer put their heel down because the ligaments and tendons are shrinking. And when she walks, and if she flexes her foot, those bone spurs push on the nerves and it becomes very painful. If she was my mother, well, first thing that I would do if she was my mother is I'd take a look at her hydration. I would get her a structured water unit, which will give you a 90-day money-back guarantee, never breaks down, never takes electricity, never change the filter, but structured water will hydrate the body faster than anything else. Then I would make sure that she's doing at least, close to 4 quarts a day. You're going, oh my God, really? 4 quarts, 4 liters? Are you kidding? So I'd have her do 2 in the morning to get them done by about 11 o'clock. And I would make sure that she's drinking hot water as much as possible, because hot water flushes, it cleans, it opens up things, it relaxes things. Then I would make sure that her bowels are moving, because guess what? From the bowels down, the large intestine, when you're pooping in your pelvis, once your pelvis is filled, which it's called the pelvic bowl, then that sediment is going to go into the hips. Then you get hip replacement, it goes into the knees. You can have knee replacement or arthritis. And then where's it gonna settle? Gravity. Pulls everything down, crystallization in her feet and in the back of her heels. Then she has cement blocks for feet. That's so cool. Now she walks like an old person, because when you start to act like an old person, when you start to look like an old person, a lot of this is displaced calcium and crystallization. So understand that. And it's all because of gravity. And the weaker the heart, the more poor your circulation, the more poor your lymph flow, the more sediment you're going to get in the bottom of your feet, and then you're going to become the brick lady. And this can happen anywhere in the body. I mean, you could have calcium deposits in your breast. You could have a calcium deposit in your gallbladder called a gallstone. You could have a calcium deposit in your kidneys, and that would be called a kidney stone. So understand this, that we will pull as much calcium from the body as we need to keep the pH buffered down so the inflammation doesn't move on to mutation, which would then causes cancer or degeneration or deterioration of the ligaments, tendons, and muscles. There you go. Now, what else would I do for her if she was really wanting to ramp it up? Get her on the daily cleansing tea, and get her to take enough that she's having 2 to 3 bowel movements for the first 10 days to 2 weeks, that it's like a cow plop. That it's not loose, but it's just like a cow plop. Then we'll start to back off once we know we brought down the toxic load, and then we want her to have 2 to 3 just really good movements. And if you go into the Perfect Day Guide in my library at Detox, I show you pictures what a good stool should look like from an infant all the way up to the elderly. Now, so we got daily cleansing tea. We're going to put her on black gold, which will be mixed with her blender drinks that you're going to make her fruit blender drinks. And it can be from organic fruit. And you're going to use maybe coconut milk, fruit, and you're going to put in a teaspoon of black gold every time. The black gold goes in and it starts to clean up the heavy metals, the acidity in the digestive tract, right from her stomach all the way down to the anus. The daily cleansing tea, it works on all the detox organs of the body, not just on the colon. There's no stimulants, there's no laxatives. I would also get her on black diamond, and if you put in a half of stick, because it comes in a little stick, of black diamond in every liter or quart, that would be 2 sticks a day. It's going to make the water taste better. And you could also put in a couple of drops of super cinnamon into every liter or quart, and it's going to taste sweet, and it's going to balance her blood sugar, which at this age she needs her blood sugar balanced. Now, that's where I would start. Now, if you want to make a huge difference, you get her to take a curcumin cayenne capsule every other hour. She can do it with food or without food. And then, if money's not a problem, get her on Merigen and get her to do Merigen 3 to 4 times a day, every 3 to 4 hours. And I promise you that those bone spurs will be gone, and the calcium will be back into the bones, and she will have beautiful skeletal bone structure within 9 months to a year, and her bone structure will be as good as somebody who's 30 years old and healthy. You heard what I said. What do you think, Lisa?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely.
So you've taken the Merigen, right?
You've
done it all.
Yeah.
So why don't you share some of the things you've been through?
I actually liked putting the black gold into my coffee. in the morning.
Right.
I've been through many different health issues in my life. One that I'm working on is from my hip to my foot. I didn't quite understand what the heck was going on with it, and pretty much tried everything and stretching and exercising. Come to find out, I've just done damage to it time and time again. And Sage and you are helping me to be able to have a leg that's functional without pain, which is amazing. That would be a good thing. My stomach, oh wow, I mean, the stomach. It's so important. Your large intestine, your small intestine. Never
Well,
even
not
knew
your
so
stomach,
much
your
about
core.
it. Your core.
Your core.
Your core.
See, she just did it too.
I did it. I did it.
She called it the stomach, but guess what? I want to tell you something. This is not because she doesn't know. It's because she's programmed just like the rest of us. We're all programmed. That the whole thing here is called a stomach to keep you on your stomach, but it's not your stomach. Your large intestine causes 90% of all the problems you have,
Yes.
and it's your stomach that causes a lot of problems for people too, because you can't digest your emotions and you don't know how to food combine and you eat too fast, and you also are talking toxic things while you're sitting at the table, because that's where you think you should fix all the world problems. And then you don't digest properly. And this is why there's two really important things if you want to live on this planet. Therapeutic vomiting, which it is therapeutic. It's not called we're bulimic. So get over that. And if you do therapeutic vomiting properly, and then you do the large intestine cleansing with the daily cleansing tea, you'll rock your world. And that's a fact, right?
The daily cleansing tea is amazing.
Yeah.
And it tastes so good too. I want to drink more of it.
Now, if you want, somebody says here, can you send us the download? If you go to if you go to my library on what's the problem? What? All right. So if you go to Doc of Detox library, okay, and you click on Daily Cleansing Tea Guide, you'll get all the information in there. And by the way, all the products are on sale until this coming Monday night, okay? It's a Sweetheart Braveheart sale. But go in there and you'll get all the information. You'll see there's no laxatives, there's no stimulants. And you know the one thing about daily cleansing tea is it's daily. It's morning and night, okay? And you just take as much as you need to have 2 to 3 amazing bowel movements. And whether you want to believe this or not, any surgeons out there, why don't you come on right now? You can call me for extension 5. Okay, so I'll say this right now. 96%, 97% of all low back surgeries, all pelvic surgeries, all core surgeries are created because of constipation. Oh, and come on, please, come on. Challenge me, surgeons. Challenge me, whoever else is out there, that you're making money off of people because they're pooping in their pelvis. So the reality, if you want to spend about as much as a cup of coffee every day, you will eliminate 85% minimum of your symptoms, and you will lose weight. You'll have way more energy. You'll sleep better. And guess what? You know what? People that are constipated, my grandmother used to say, hey, Daryl, please, it's okay. Understand, your grandfather's not grumpy. He's just constipated. Let me tell you, he was grumpy all the time. And that's because he was constipated. All right, constipated people are not that friendly. Trust me, Santa is not in a good mood. Nobody can be looking like they're ready to blow and be in a good mood. Okay, that's all gas. That's caused because of the endobacterium, which used to be good bacteria, gone to bad bacteria that now are giving off a toxic gas that's being absorbed into your bloodstream, which is creating high acidity levels in your bloodstream, which is putting you into a crisis, which is pulling calcium from your bones, okay? And not just that. What do you think kind of pressure is on somebody's heart when they're ready to blow apart because of the gas that's created, because they have their own manure piles sitting in the large intestine, not the stomach, not the small intestine, but in the large intestine, which is the Holy Grail. Okay? What do you think?
I think it's everything you're saying, and to witness it here when people first show up, for myself and for other people, and witness the change. It's truly amazing. But you have to make the decision yourself. You have to be willing to do the work. Nobody can do that stuff for you. It's either you have to first have the information. Yeah, I get it. Some people just don't understand, which is awesome. And that's why there's so many people around here that have the information now. And this wonderful guide that you get when you take the courses. That's fantastic.
When you take the courses, now here's the deal. Don't take my courses because maybe you don't like me. Maybe you don't like my courses. But you better take some course that's going to put you on course that you are going to love, honor, respect yourself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. Okay, if you put other people first, or you believe in this BS out there that that medical health is health. Okay, if you believe that going for a massage or going to acupuncture or physiotherapy or even getting an adjustment is going to get rid of the scar tissue issue in your body or get rid of the displaced calcium, you got another thing coming. If all of these therapies and everything was so grand out there, why isn't it working? Why are we sicker now more than we've ever been in our whole lives? And there are millions of natural health practitioners and there are millions of medical doctors and nobody can seem to get it right. It's all just a bloody mystery. And that's because I'm going to tell you something. Because they messed around with history. And that, guess what? And you were told that you were too dumb to look after yourself. Well, you better learn how to start looking after yourself because nobody else is going to do it. And that's the deal. There's a question here. If we want to work for you in Ixtapa, this is from Tat, is there housing nearby and what jobs do you need filled? I heard you needed videographers, also interested in your juice bar or any job. Thank you. I want to say this and I want to make it really clear. When we came here, we owe Mexico. I owe Mexico. Why do I owe Mexico? I have never felt a place where I have felt as much love from the people that were here.
Absolutely.
I have more people that come here that are jealous of me. I have more people that come here that create more trouble than the people that live here. I give the people that live here jobs in the juice bar. We will give them as much jobs as possible. We have jobs for people, but guess what? Are you ready for this? You can't work for me until you work for you. Do you know how to work for you? Okay, first of all, I'm going to say something, and I mean this in the best way. I've been in business now for 44 years. Unless you're dealing with scar tissue and the displaced calcium in the human body and crystallization, you're not a body worker. You heard what I said. You're not a body worker. Do you soothe someone's body? Do you reduce the pain for them? Yes. But guess what? You're not going to reverse their age. Because aging and disease and sickness is all about displaced calcium and scar tissue. And I want any practitioner out there, whether it be a medical doctor or a naturopath or a chiropractor, anybody to come on my show and we'll talk about this. Because understand something. We can't do better until we know better, and we need to bring our game up. Because I just said it. I want somebody to come on and challenge me because I need this. Because I need to be challenged by other professionals that I'm wrong. I want it done. Because until we can get the majority of the population believing that if they were to look after every scar tissue issue in their body and every little piece of displaced calcium, you would get older, but you would never get old. You would never get old. You would never get sick. Because sickness is here before here.
There's nothing else to be said. I mean, like, just drop the mic. That is just perfect because it's so true. And I'm just, it shocks me prior to knowing you that our belief systems were so messed up. I mean, we advertise food, even locally in restaurants and things that are really to kill us. How long do you want them to be your customer? Can you start like offering food that's actually going to be healthy for you? No, probably not. I probably won't see that day that neighborhoods are actually putting out healthy meals and advertising them because they want you to be a lifelong customer.
Everybody wants you a lifelong customer. And I want people not to be a lifelong customer with me because there are no customers, there are no clients,
right.
And there are no patients for us. You can come here as a patient, but we're going to teach you patience on how you become your own doctor.
Yes.
You heard what I said. Doctor stands for what? What does it stand for? Teacher. So we're gonna teach you how to teach yourself that you don't need other people unless you're in an emergency situation. And you shouldn't be in an emergency situation unless it was a sports injury or it was a car accident or you fell down the stairs. But if you fell down the stairs, that's only because you're out of alignment up here. You heard what I said? Because anybody can walk down the stairs if they are mindful in the present moment and they love themselves and they're going to respect this. But the reality is every time you injure yourself, think about where you were just before the injury. And it was time to hurt yourself. It was time to harm yourself because everybody's playing a program. And why don't you start calendar tracking yourself and then you'll find out that I'm right. And understand something, there are no dumb people. Everybody has genius in them. Okay? But the reality is I could give you a disgusting, toxic belief about yourself, or somebody says, you have to live with that forever. Or someone says that they will always be challenged because their brain is damaged forever, when the brain can overwrite any damage. Did you hear what I just said? The brain can overwrite damage within it. Physical damage can be overwritten. It says, we're not going to try to repair that, it's too bad, but it'll override it. And understand, do your science, do your work, do your study, because understand, as long as they can keep you crippled, okay, they don't care. They don't care. And the reality is that's them. And then there's human beings, they're human doings. You know, you can program a human being to do anything. You can even program them to go out and hurt their brothers and sisters and say, I'm just doing my job. So the reality is this, okay, the majority of the population is never going to buy into me, okay, because I just don't have the advertising. You know, you go watch TV, you go listen to the radio, they own the media. They own the media all over the world. Doesn't matter if you've got a country that says, I'm not doing this, we're not doing that. Guess what? They'll still be buying their time on every radio station and TV station in every country to brainwash everybody.
But you also would have to put effort. And in order to put effort, you would actually have to believe and unconditionally love yourself.
Yeah, and there's the ticket there, because you're not going to do that. Very few people are going to unconditionally love themselves because they're either suffering from sinner syndrome or you're just not smart enough. Okay? You're just not good enough. You're not one of us. You just don't have the brain power. You do have the brain power. Everything is a story, okay, but it was his story, and now we got to make it our story. All right, let's see what we got for questions. Doc, Lisa changes her name for a very good reason. She is Elisa now. That's right. And because she's changing her story. And you know what? Maybe you might need to change your name, and you might need to change where you live, and you might even need to change your friends, and you might even need to change your family. Go figure. Because you know what? Until you're going to be selfish enough to know what it's going to take for you to feel unconditional love for yourself, how can you give it to anyone else?
And E is for energy.
Yes.
And I have a lot of energy. And that's really true to who I am. I'm an energy being.
Tammy says, in the evening, my nose feels like it turns to ice. What could be the reason? I'll tell you why. The nose stands for the heart. And it stands for you lack energy. Okay? And it shows if we walk around with a broken heart, if we walk around with an empty heart, if we walk around with a heart that's in pieces, if we walk around sad for the world, if we walk around sad for our children, the dog, if we walk around sad for human beings or the future, we are going to go down in energy. And then guess what? The nose stands for the heart. Now you can even see people where they have a gray tip on the end of their nose, their heart is dying. You'll see people that will have a blue tip on their nose. It's not as bad, but it shows that they have very dirty blood and the arterioles in the heart are in trouble. Then you'll see people that have a bulbous nose, it could be gray and blue, and even it gets fat on the end. That shows an enlarged heart. How are we doing? Body talk is the most important language you'll ever learn. And body talk, with body talk comes Pain is a GPS. Pain is not your enemy. You go ahead. You go and you try to kill pain, you kill yourself. You try to kill the disease, you're just killing a symptom. It's a symptom of you being out of alignment. So you're gonna kill body talk, you're gonna kill a symptom that's saying, I love you. Do you think you could spend some tension over here? And then you just go, shut up, shut up, shut up. And then you wonder why you have a tumor, why you have a heart attack. You wonder why you just had a seizure. Okay? Because
Or take some more pharmaceutical drugs.
that's right. And then you're just going to numb yourself out. And why do you do all this? Because you were taught you weren't enough. You taught you were a dirty little girl, dirty little boy. You were taught that, guess what? Who would love you anyway? I will. I will love the whole world. I may not like the whole world right now, but I'm not going to hate the world. Because any emotion that I put on to anybody else, I get it first. And I get the most of it. And how can I, at least if I'm going to hate you, I should give you a call. Hey, Rick, you want to know something? Yeah, what's going on, Daryl? I hate your guts. Whoa, really? Yeah. And after I hang up, I'm going to still hate your guts. I'm going to hate your guts all night. I probably won't be able to sleep, and then I'm going to wake up sick in the morning, not knowing that it's because I hated your guts, and now I've turned all my guts inside out. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world where we get to judge people and then feel good about it. No, we don't. You can't feel good about it. Anyways, let me get back to this. So her nose is cold. Let me see here. Feels like turns to ice. What could it be, the reason? Well, for one thing, that's anxiety. Trust me, love. When I'm cold, my fingers will periodically turn white and go numb. Okay, so understand. When your fingers go numb, this is a terrorism. You are terrorizing yourself. You're letting the world do it to you. Isn't that great? Okay? And this is all about anxiety because you couldn't connect to the Lionheart breath. You couldn't go, that's the old me. 3, 2, 1, I got this. I love and approve of myself. I'm going to mind my own business. I'm going to keep a slight smile on my face all day long. I don't care how many alarms go off. I'm going to quit running the programs that I was running because I'm running myself into the ground. And you know what? I'm going to stop suffering for everybody because I'm the only one suffering. You might want to think about that.
Yeah, I've been there, done that one.
Yeah?
Yep. And then
Dr. Wolf, tell me about blood clots in your legs. Well, understand something. Blood clots in your legs, it's not in your arteries. Where is it, everybody? They're in your veins. Your arteries, you won't find blood clots in there hardly ever, but you'll find it in your veins, and your veins are closer to the surface. And you cannot have blood clots. You ready for this? Are you ready? You can't have blood clots in your veins unless you are pooping in your pelvis. That means that you've got not leaky gut, you've got leaky large intestine. And they're always going to call it leaky gut because they're going to want you to look over here, not down here, to where you're actually damaging yourself. Because your large intestine is 85% of your immune system. Your bacteria are the smartest part of you. And if you're making them toxic, they're now the dumbest part of you. Because your bacteria give off information. And they give off more information than anything else in the body, second to the cells. And all that information is collected in the pelvis, goes into your spinal fluid at your coccyx to go to your brain. And guess what? Bad bacteria create bad moods. Bad moods, bad foods create bad bacteria, which create bad moods because they're not in a good mood. Okay? They've got a shitty situation going on, excuse the expression. They don't feel good. And they give off vibration. That vibration and frequency is collected in the pelvic bowl, which then goes into the tip of the coccyx. That is the root chakra that goes into the spinal fluid that carries more light and more information to your brain. So your brain gets all confused and pissed off. So it sends things like histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol because it feels that it's being threatened.
put out the fire.
That's right, put out the fire. No, it actually creates the fire. Because it wants you to run from the terrorist. Oh, that would be usually you. Okay. Shani, need LTR also, please. Need letter to be excused from work for March. Please text not text, email Nat, N-A-T, at docofdetox.com. He'll prepare that letter for you. I am one of Braveheart women. You absolutely are. And her name is Bajana. Okay, let me see. I love Mexico. What do we got here? Shell, my friend's writing a book about her past, and suddenly her cancer, you're going to love this. Oh, this is going to be good. Okay, I'm going to prove that, guess what? Guess what? Couldn't leave it alone, could you? Couldn't leave it alone, could you? You know what? You don't know what my life's like, Dr. Wolf. I'm sure, but I bet everybody else does. Mind your own business and tell a new story. Don't tell his story. Tell your story. It's a Braveheart story. I'm healed. I'm loved. I'm Braveheart. I am. I got this. That's the new story. Stop talking about your disease. You are a disease. If you talk about something, you become it. You want to be a hero? You want to be a victim. I'm a 3-time cancer survivor. Really, isn't that cool? Let me tell you, change your story, because that story is going to get you buried, and it's going to be 6 feet deep. Right now, you're burying yourself in what? Negative vibration. Tell a story long enough and strong enough, and everybody believes it. Look, you believe it. So every time that you tell a story and it's negative, even though it happened 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, yesterday, your mind thinks it's happening right now for the first time. So keep on telling your stories and keep on digging that grave, because that's what they want for you. The mind of a human being is so easy to program. You have to be on your guard. That's why you do 3, 2, 1, I got this. Because when I snap this lovingly, that's me kissing myself. This is snug as a hug. This is snapping me back into the present, so I don't go into my subconscious where I was programmed from 0 to 7 to knock myself off for the rest of my life. Because guess what? I'm undeserving. I'm undeserving of our source. The great source is love. I don't deserve it. What if you don't deserve something? What if you don't let yourself off the hook? What if you judge yourself and put yourself in jail emotionally for the rest of your life? Do you think you're going to heal from anything? What do you think you're going to create?
Dis-ease.
Let's read her story. Shell, my friend, is writing a book about her past, and suddenly her cancer flared up. Okay, so what she should have been doing is writing a book about her future. And what is her future going to look like? Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody buys into trauma drama. See, that's why I tell you that the human brain was actually manipulated in a lab. I'm not going to get into that, okay? Our spirit is from the source of everything. But the reality is why do we have a 90% subconscious and only 10% conscious? Okay, we're kind of not, hey, that's not a fair game. Okay, you're telling me I have to race, but I have to do it on one leg. Thank you for that. Anyways, this is why you got to learn how to love, honor, and respect yourself, connect to your Lionheart breathing, and then learn how to do the love band, life band. And you got to do it at least 30 times a day at the beginning. So what? You're already insane. You might as well be insanely happy instead of insanely miserable. And don't tell me that the world's not there. The majority of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means attacking oneself. All right, let's get back to our story. Because I asked her, has anything came up about her past that was abusive, she said it suddenly came up when she started the book. Imagine that. And I'll tell you why. Because she didn't go back and do the homework. What was the homework? You can't write the book until you do your homework. If it's a trauma, life-threatening story, then you have to do what? You have to go in and unconditionally forgive yourself for everything. And the person, the people that are in your past. You know, you can stay pissed off and angry at them because what is cancer? The C in cancer stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict. And it's all here first. And then what if you hated someone? Because that's what cancer is hate and anger all wrapped up together. And what if you hated someone in your past and you couldn't forgive them? Well, every time you hate them, are they getting the message? Or are you getting the message, the vibration? And if it's true that cancer can be turned on and turned off by a frequency, which has been proven, and if it's also true that every time that you hate someone, you actually dump histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, which makes you acidic, that means you got to pull the calcium out of your body to buffer that down. Now you've went and calcified the mitochondria in your cells, in a certain area of your body where the inflammation is. And then what happens is the spin won't happen 2,500 times per second, only happens 500 times per second. So now you don't make enough ATP to create enough energy to keep balance. So now you have disease, because now you can't function off of spirited energy. Now you've got to function off of what? Well, there's not enough oxygen getting in. There's not enough of detoxification from the cells or communication coming in that's good. So now you're living off of what? Lactic acid, which there's a lot in that cell. When it's not spinning and you're not getting ATP, it's creating lactic acid, because now you've got constipation in the cell. There. And there's the God's truth. So now what are you going to do? So here's the deal. Until you, okay, go take a look at my Braveheart 12 Loving Steps. The last two steps, 11 and 12, has you go back through your history, when it's his story, not your story. And you're going to go back there and you're going to make all the villains and all the victims into heroes that have taught you something. Oh, and then guess what? He physically abused me. He sexually abused me. She sexually abused me. She physically abused me. What do you got to do? You got to let them off the hook. You got to understand that people are their beliefs. What if I had twisted, toxic beliefs, and I believed that these twisted, toxic beliefs were the only way I could survive? What if I was programmed that way? Now, do you think that person, it's best to let them off the hook and understand that they're toxic beliefs, and that time that happened needs to stop and be changed into a Braveheart hero story? So she went back and she told her story not as a hero. She told her story as a victim. So cancer came back, because cancer's turned on and turned off by a frequency. And I'm right. That's just like people call me up, you know? Believe it or not. I get called probably about, I don't know, half a dozen times a day. I've got cancer. I've got stage 3 and 4 cancer. Can you help me? I said, I can help you help yourself. What does that mean? I can show you how to get rid of it and it'll never come back. And she goes, or he goes, does that mean you can cure me? No, there are no cures. There is just creating the perfect day from the minute we rise until we gently close our eyes. And we repeat it every day, and it's based in unconditional love for ourselves and the rest of the world, so that we bring our vibration up, because cancer gets turned off and turned on. And what if you were able to turn yourself on and then stay there, because you're no longer going to judge yourself, or you are no longer going to lash out at anyone? What would happen then? What would happen if you only narrowed your vision to only what you wanted, only to that beautiful life you've always wanted to create, your passion, your purpose? What if you did that? What if you unconditionally loved yourself? Does that mean that the world would die, that your family would get hurt? Well, your family might get hurt. They're going to, because you're changing, and they don't like that. They wouldn't get hurt forever. But they won't be used to the new you. So you have to say, I'm changing. And you got to say to them, I'm going to try unconditional love for myself. So if you find me treating myself better, it's not because I'm not loving you more. Okay? But the reality is this. Until you want to love and care for yourself with all your heart and fill up your own heart, then it'll continually be torn apart, and so will the rest of your body. What do you think?
Where's the mic to drop? It's fantastic.
Okay, so here we go. She said, yes, it suddenly came up when she started the book. Imagine that. I just spent last weekend with her. She had another friend staying there who seemed to start the drama out of nowhere with my friend Julia. She kept on creating drama. It was definitely narcissistic behavior and negativity. She doesn't need when this cancer stuff is going on. Oh, wait a minute here. you need to understand something. Are you ready for this? To change your personality, you have to change your reality, which means you might have to change your family or your friends or the environment you live in. And you might want to take a look at your habits and what you do in your spare time. All of those things need to be looked at. And I didn't say drop your family. I'm trying to tell you that I have family everywhere. Lisa's my family. If I don't want to treat her as my family, then guess what? I need to let her know I've got her back, her front. I've got her. And what does that mean? That means that I unconditionally accept Lisa for who she is. But if Lisa started doing something, let's say she started doing something that was something negative, I would lovingly say, hey, do you see where we're going with this? And then also, I would want Lisa to also say to me, Daryl, wow, there's a lot going on here. You might want to breathe. You know, she's allowed to tell me, okay, just because she came here to learn from me, I need to learn from her. I need to learn from everybody that comes here to take my courses. Okay, the courses I put together, the trainings I put together. I learn from them. I get more from them than I give them. And that's reality. You know what? It's not called humbling yourself down. It's called opening yourself up. I don't believe anybody should humble themselves down. I believe they should open themselves up to unconditional love. All right. I gave her detox tea. Oh, wait, no, let me go back here. Also, I asked her, even if she does the targeted chemo and radiation injection near her lower spine, it's in the bone. Hormone therapy block. I gave her detox tea and other herb teas. She is doing CBD, turmeric, curcumin, vitamin D, but she is open to more natural. Told her, diet especially, she's drinking Coke. She knows that needs to stop. Also, understand, whether you want to believe this or not, she's drinking Coke because the unconditional love hasn't come in yet. Okay? All right? She knows that you can take Coke and you can use it to get the rust off a bumper. That you can use it to clean the post of a battery. It's acid and it's eating her away. But I would say if you drink Coke, what's eating at you? What's eating at her that she would get the same vibrational drink to come in to eat at her? So instead of her just eating herself out because of something she feels guilty for, she's going to take Coke in so that it'll eat her out too. And understand something, believe it or don't believe it, don't really care. I worked with this lady for 2 years. MS, she made all kinds of headway. And then we couldn't figure out why we couldn't get her out of the wheelchair. And do you know what she hid from us? What do you think she hid from us?
Some kind of sweet.
2 liters of Diet Coke in the whole 2 years we worked with her. She wouldn't drop it. Now, you're not going to believe this. She dropped the Diet Coke. You know where she's from? It's okay. It's a big place. She's from Miami. Now, she dropped the 2-liter Coke, and in 3 days, she got out of the wheelchair.
Wow.
Her whole health came up. I couldn't get her out of the wheelchair. She'd get out of the wheelchair, do some walking, but once she stopped that, it was blocking the signal.
I want to share something about that.
Go ahead,
So
love.
when I was taking care of my father who had cancer, and I think this was maybe like 16, 17 years ago, I was, we're in a chemo room, and over here he's getting chemotherapy. And over here, right across in his view, is a table of everybody that brought their love. And their love was all sugar. Cakes, cookies, pies, you name it, there was on the table. And so even back then, before I even knew what I know now, I was challenging the chemo nurse, and she couldn't answer my question. And then she's like, "Oh,
Well, you
ask this
can't answer
person,
the
ask this
question
person."
because she's programmed not to answer it.
Right. And so then it went up to another person. I just wouldn't give up. And, you know, I was being irritating, but I wanted the answer. I said, I thought sugar is bad. And then finally, after
It lights
several
up-
people.
Sugar lights up cancer. That's why when you go, okay, to get an x-ray, they're injecting radiated sugar into you. that lights up your cancer. Do you know what it does? It makes your cancer worse. Now,
Well, here's the answer. You know what?
Well,
Let me finish the story. Ready? Here's the answer. They said it's better they eat something than nothing. So the sugar was better than nothing.
well, no, you're better off to do advanced water fasting,
Yes.
and that is almost nothing.
Yes.
And the reality is I'm not putting it down. Do any X-ray you want. It doesn't matter. It's your body. But we have what's called thermography here. It is the most sensitive, in-depth reading on the planet. It'll tell you where every inflamed cell is, how inflamed it is, whether it's just arthritis all the way to cancer. It'll tell us how much is going on. And you know what?
I've done it. It's an amazing experience.
Yes. All right. Let me see here. Let me see. Told her diet, especially, she's drinking Coke. She knows she needs to stop. Also, friend, she has decided to get distance from. Well, that's good. First of all, you don't get distance from toxic friends. You don't get distance from toxic foods. You don't get distance from toxic things in your life. You focus on something not toxic. So I'm going to focus on friends that are totally vibrating higher than me. I'm going to focus on food and drink that's vibrating higher than me. I'm going to focus on a place to live that's vibrating higher than me. If you don't change your environment on the invisible, the physical won't change, because guess what? The psychological rules the biological. It is universal law. E equals MC squared. And that's it. That's it. So just understand that. So I know, but I've been friends for so long. Well, they're family. Well, you know what? When somebody gets cancer and the rest of the family finds out, the cancer is like what? Huh? The last and the first nail in the coffin. Because nobody understands what cancer is. It's inflammation gone out of control for too long. And then not treated properly, because we're doing things to suppress the inflammation. Even though that you don't feel it, you don't see it, you're still going through it. So when you think that you've numbed yourself out on an emotional and physical level, and whoop-de-doo-dah day, your day comes and it becomes D-Day for you, because you can't tell your body to shut up and disconnect the gut-brain connection and say, well, at least I'm not feeling. Oh, look at Grandpa's drooling. Well, of course he's drooling. You've numbed him right out. He's not even functioning. So understand, to be able to be connected to our emotions and our feelings, okay, is the most dangerous thing you'll ever have. If you learn to feel your way through life instead of think it, because thinking ain't working, it's not working, and it won't work until you take a course like mine, which it won't work, because you don't understand that you're in the subconscious part of your life for most 98% of their day. So you've got 2% being in the conscious moment, which is the only place that you're going to actually have a brand new thought. And thanks for not having a brand new thought, because you just bought, they just bought you off by the pound. All right, let's see if we have anything else. Dr. Dave Lippert, why do people get plantar warts on their feet or warts anywhere? And how would you address these, doc? Well, that's toxic emotions, and that's being held by the liver. Okay, so now we got to clean the colon, and we're going to do that with daily cleansing tea and black gold and curcumin cayenne. Because we've got to bring down the inflammation, and curcumin cayenne 5000 is the least expensive way to bring down inflammation in the body, and inflammation is everything. And the daily cleansing tea is going to work on all the detox organs in the body, and the black gold is going to create an environment within the large intestine for the bacteria to feed on. And then we're going to get you to do the ultimate coffee enema, and we're going to get you to do 2 twice a day. Those warts will never come back. Okay, that liver is getting tormented and twisted, okay, and toxic, okay, just like a fatty liver is a liver that's been inflamed for too long, and then liver cirrhosis is chronic inflammation in the liver where the tissues are turning into scar tissue. See, same thing everywhere. And then guess what? Oh, and now we've got gallstones, which are calcium being pulled into the liver to bring the inflammation down so you don't get liver cancer and other liver diseases. And then the accumulation of the calcium that was in the liver goes into the gallbladder to be dumped out. So what would be gallstones? A precancer state. What would be kidney stones? A precancer state. What would be calcium deposits in the breast? A precancer state. What would be calcium deposits anywhere in any of the tissues of the body? Could be a precancer state. Not all of it. Like arthritis is inflammation of the joint, where you're turning the cartilage and the ligaments and the tendons into scar tissue, and you're displacing the calcium from that joint, and you're calcifying the joint as if like rust on a hinge. So now that joint doesn't move, like me trying to open up the door. So WD-40 would be Wolf Non-Surgical DMSO and pain away essential oils. And if you did that properly, that would really help. But you've got to get in there, and you've got to turn all scar tissue in the body back into connective tissue, and that's what we call reversing the hands of time. What do you think?
I think that if anybody, first time watching you, as fast as you're cranking out this information, is going to have to do a repeat, take notes, and watch it over and over again so they get all the information so they can choose to be healthy and unconditionally love themselves.
I hear you. Now, just so you know, Shani, we can't send you the Zoom link. This is only on Facebook and YouTube today. Is that right, Gad?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we on Rumble today?
No.
Why?
We have to. I'll explain after.
Okay, well, let's make sure we do.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Let's just do it. Okay, so we will have the Zoom hooked up for the next show. I don't know if it'll happen this week or happen next week, but we're really moving out here. We're stepping it up, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm late right now, so we'll only be on for a few more minutes, but we've got what we call a Braveheart. We have a Braveheart Women meeting because Braveheart Women is a new show that we're launching in about 2 weeks. Okay, everybody? Can you send? No, I can't send it. You have to go back to Facebook or YouTube if you want to see the show today. Thank you. I've been adding it, Anna. I've been adding it to my herbal tea. Oh, no. You're not gonna put. Listen, you can put C60 in your herbal tea, which is the highest vibrational molecule for healing the brain, the eyes, the nervous system. Check that out. You can put a little bit of black diamond. No, black diamond in your herbal tea, but don't put black gold in your tea because black gold is not digestible. It's supposed to be just taken in your blender drinks, or you can put it at the top of your coffee grounds when you're making your coffee, or you can add it to soups, or you can put it in your baking. It's only for the digestive tract. Black gold does not get put into drinks except for blender drinks. Black diamond is nano. It can go into anything to be able to be drank, okay? Black gold is meant to bring back mummy's good bacteria in your intestines and to suck up heavy metals and acidity all the way through your digestive tract. Where black diamond, you don't even have to stir it when you put it in your drink. It actually mixes itself. It has so much energy, and it comes in a little stick. And that crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it goes into your blood, goes into your tissue cells, crosses the blood-brain barrier for your brain. Okay, got it? So that's the difference. Okay, love? Shani, wonder if it's Facebook related. Maybe we should try Rumble next. No, I don't know what we're talking about. I think we're still fine here. There is nothing more powerful than an idea. This is Tat, whose time has come, and that time is now, and that idea is the perfect day. Well, just know this. The people that have been strategizing and controlling the planet since the beginning of time decided that they would get together, and even if their beliefs didn't match, they would have one belief, and that was this, that if we come together, we can hogtie 7 billion people. Okay? Now, the 7 billion people in the world have been divided through religion, through government, okay, through color, through race, through rituals, habits. So now we won't come together, and we will fight amongst each other, and we'll even go and kill each other. So that's why a very few and a small organization, because there might be 30 to 50,000 of them, can hog tie 7 billion, because they can get the so-called family, human beings around the world, to actually attack their brothers and sisters. Isn't that something? Okay. Sandra, how do we revise brain? What do you recommend? I'll tell you right now. You can give me a call, but I'll tell you, go take a look at my C60. I have the best C60 in the world. Who do you think buys my C60? The Pentagon, the military, upper government in Canada and United States and Europe buy our C60. Not from me, but from the creator of my C60. I'm the only person who sells my C60 to the general public. And you don't have to believe me, but 90% of all the C60 out there is fraudulent. Okay? We have the highest quality MCT oil, and it's made with C60 that is actually made out of Russia. Okay? And it's the best C60 in the world. Black Diamond. Black Diamond. We have the only humic fulvic line in the world that is heavy metal free. We have the only humic fulvic you can put in your eyes called Bright Eyes. So how about that? And we have the only humic fulvic called Black Diamond, which I just talked about, that crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it pulls heavy metals out of the brain. It goes in and it brings down the acidity. It brings in 60 to 70 micronutrients. It does that throughout the whole body, but it goes to the brain. The C60 will go in and rewrite damage in the brain, and if you don't believe me, then why is it when you do C60 4 times a day, within 6 weeks to 3 months, you have to change your eyeglasses? Or you don't need them anymore after maybe, it depends on how many bad habits you have, how clogged up your colon is, how clogged up your liver is. And then the other thing for the brain, believe it or not, is called infinite iodine, because you've got to look after your thyroid. Oh, and what's this called? Gut-brain connection, daily cleansing tea, black gold. There you go. So those are the things that I would start off first, and then I would clap my head. I would get a clapper. Can you bring a clapper into me, please? If you can find one. And I would clap my head for 20 minutes every night. My whole head to stimulate it. Okay? All right? All right. Thank you, Gad. This is a clapper. This is a little invention of mine. Okay? It took about 11 times. It was 11 times before we got the one we liked. And go to clapping for health and happiness guide, and go into my library and see about clapping. And you can find these in my equipment section on my website, and they're on sale right now. But if you start clapping, and after a while, this won't feel like pain. And you know what? Wouldn't it be great if you could actually control your mind and understand that pain is a GPS? And I'm not going to look at pain as my enemy, and I'm going to, just that little bit of clapping, you can feel the stimulation and the warmth. What do you think that's doing to the brain? I'm creating stem cells. Just even hitting right on the TMJ jaw area, you've got more stem cell making than anywhere else in your body. Understand, I would clap everything, my neck, my face, my head. I do that every other day for about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. That's right. Okay? Do you see how fast my mind works? That's C60. Okay? That's ionic calcium. Did you know that ionic calcium therapy is the only calcium that works in the body? In the world, scientifically proven. Go to my website, go take a look at the ionic calcium guide and watch the videos. It's the only one that works in the world that'll pull the calcium back into your bones and replace your bones as if you're 30 years old again, and get all the displaced calcium from out of the organs and all the tissues that make you walk and look as if you're as stiff as a board. How would you like to have your flexibility back? How would you like to have the flexibility back in your brain that it actually works? Well, ionic calcium does over 120,000 hormonal and chemical things per second. And understand, you know what happens? You're calcifying your brain every time you stress out, every time you have anxiety, every time you think that there's a tiger coming, and 99% of the time you make it up. They've got you so programmed, and every time you do that, you put your brain on fire. And that's why people will first have anxiety and for a long time, and then guess what? They go into depression. they go into depression because the brain has to shut down, because if it doesn't, it's going to stroke you out. How would you like that? So now you're going, I don't know why I'm depressed. Well, because you terrorized yourself for days, weeks, months, and your brain can't take it anymore. So now it's shutting you down, but now you go on medication. Why? For depression? Seriously. Why don't you go for a holiday? Okay, go to the beach, go swimming in the ocean, make a sandcastle, do a sand scrub, get a clapper. If you're depressed, okay, there's a lady, many ladies, many men that come to me, and they're not just depressed, they're suicidal. And I get them to clap their neck, their face, and their head for an hour every night, and then clap wherever else you want that's stiff. And guess what? Within 2 to 3 days, they're laughing, they're crying, and they don't want to kill themselves anymore. How's that for medication? Okay, so the medication is learning about that pain is a GPS and getting rid of the emotional blocks that became the physical blocks that are telling you that you're unworthy and it's time to just knock yourself off. You know what? I don't really blame people right now for even having suicidal thoughts. But the reality is, guess what? It's just a thought. But if you think it long enough and strong enough, it becomes your life. What do you think, Lisa?
I want a great life. I'm going in that direction. I'm practicing every day to unconditionally love myself. And when I practice that, then I'm able to unconditionally love all the people that I'm surrounded with and beyond. That's what I think.
All right. I agree.
I think it's a waste of energy to do anything different now that I know the difference. But you don't know what you don't know. Or you kind of know, but you have no direction. The people you're surrounded with don't really don't know, so they can't provide you the information. And then when you find it out, it's a calling. It's a step. It's a step into it, for sure. Either you get it, or you struggle. And I choose to get it.
Yeah. Okay, so Rose, if you want to call me, you can call me on extension 5. I said Rose could call in. So we'll take her call, and then we're going to have to end it for today. We'll do another Q&A on Thursday, because I haven't done one in a long time. So Thursday we'll do another Q&A at noon, and we'll be all set up on Zoom. Okay, we'd like to get it going. Let me see if there's anything else. Hey, Daryl, I bought the Tesla glasses and have a testimonial. Wearing them while I started wearing them. Super cool. Can send you the video, but don't know how. If you want, you can send me the video on WhatsApp, or you can send it to GAD, G-A-D, at docofdetox.com, or send it to Drake at docofdetox. Better still, send it to Drake at docofdetox.com. Would you send it there? And then I'd love to take a look at it and put it up. And anybody who's got a testimonial about the products, or about clapping, or about coffee, or Ultimate Coffee Enema, or doing anything, if you do a testimonial written, please send it to Drake at docofdetox.com. Any of these things, or a video, we'd love to put them out there. It's not about us. It's about people knowing that, guess what? Holy smokes, I have never taken massive personal action for myself, just everyone else, and look where it's gotten me. Tired. Okay. Ryan, yeah, most of us have been raised on sugar as a treat, a reward. Yeah, I know. You get raised on sugar because your parents are programmed so that it rots your teeth, so that they can put silver fillings in that are 47% mercury, so that can go in and then totally pull down your pineal gland, which is your higher vision, and also pull down your brain. Isn't that something? Okay? Yeah. Let me see here. My mom had cancer, and this is Magdal. And they destroyed her white cell. Okay, I won't talk about that. We'll answer questions. I don't want to. I'm not here to attack any systems. We're here to support your system on an emotional and also on a physical level. That's what we're here to do. We're here to support your system. What if we didn't focus on what was wrong in the world, but we only focused on what we wanted in the world? If we only focused on what we wanted in the world, we'd get it. Stop focusing on the old story. Stop focusing on what's wrong. Why don't you focus on only what you want? Yeah, but now you'd have to understand that you'd have to be selfish enough to know what a happy, healthy day is. And that's not selfish. You'd have to center into yourself to pull this off. And that's why right now, and this is not a pitch, I make no money off of it by the time I pay my practitioners. $105 will get you a perfect day consultation until the end of the week. So if you want to go on and you want to get a consultation, go to docofdetox.com, top of the page, click on consultations. They're only $150 when they're not on sale. Okay, and you get a 300-page manual, which is the best strategy manual you'll ever read in your life. Right from diet to exercise to detox, right? Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So we'll do an hour consult. We'll send you the audio, and then you have lifetime support from us. Not so bad, eh? And we have to do it this way because if you don't create a strategy, okay, if you don't create a strategy called a perfect day and repeat it every day, how are you ever going to have your life back? Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Dr. Wolf, it's Rosemary.
I keep losing her. I don't know why. She'll call back, and I'll try a different phone. Anyways, what time is it?
It is 2:05.
2:05? Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. And if Rose does call back, we will take this as a last call. Okay? But I'm late for a meeting, and let me see here. Everybody, our Braveheart Sweetheart sale is on. Guess what? We only do it once a year. It's on our treatments, our trainings, our consultations, and it's on our products, okay? And it's on our courses. That's right. If you come as a couple, all right, and you sign up for any of our courses or our personal treatment and training before this coming Monday, you receive 10% off. That's it, but you have to come as a couple, mother-daughter, father-son, two sisters, a couple. You get the message, okay? Tuesday at 7 p.m., which is tonight, The Miracle of Humic and Fulvic with John Swagger. And just know I will be back here at 12 noon on Thursday, and we'll do another Q&A, okay? And everything will go smoother, and I will be here, and it'll kick off right on 12 noon. We're just ironing out the bugs, and everybody here is doing a great job, right? They are. So also remember to join us on show.docofdetox.com. And just know this, we're also on Telegram at t.me/the Doc of Detox, Rumble, Bitchute, Odyssey. We're also on Brighton. Okay, 1 second. We're also on Brighton, so you can catch us on all these different platforms. All right? And our upcoming course, the next course is, 1 second, love, we got you. The next course is March the 5th, okay? And we will be doing the 10 days of the of the Whole Life Coach certification, taking 2 days off, and then we go into the Wolf Non-Surgical, which is a 12-day course. We'd like for you to stay, if you can, to catch the first 2 days of the next Whole Life Coach when we have one, but we won't be having one in April. We're taking April off because we're going to be opening up more of our treatment centers, okay, and getting that more smoothed out. And then we have a course in May, and then we have one in June, and then we're going to be just focusing on doing personal treatment and trainings and treatments for the summer here. So we get all that organized, and then we'll start up again with our courses in September. Okay, Rose, you'll be the last thing that we do today. Okay, so talk to me.
Okay, so thank you so much for taking my phone call. So, Dr. Wolf, I have been trying to figure out how to get out there because everything has to line up. I mean, getting out there from Vancouver, Canada, to be able to take the courses. I can't apply to the courses unless I know I have a way out.
Okay,
And,
first of all, let's just put this to everybody. Understand,
Yeah.
if you get out, don't worry about applying for the course. The minute you're in the air or you're hitting the ground or you know that you've escaped, you would call me and I will put you in. We've already talked about this. We're leaving right now 8 places open on every course. So if people were to give us a 1-day notice or a 2-day notice, it doesn't matter. Okay? We already know. We're positioned to understand the world is upside down and inside out. Okay? Now, some people have been using our letters and just driving across the border, and and the customs aren't asking for the vax. So you can take a chance with that, and just, if you said to yourself, my life is an adventure, nothing's going to get me down, nothing's going to upset me. If something doesn't work, I'm going to stay connected to myself, and I'm going to figure out a new strategy. So some people are doing that and driving over, and some people are doing some V thing when they've never gotten the V. I'm not even going to get into that, believe it or not. You'd be surprised how many people are getting here by using things that, wow, talking about imagination. Anyways, so I don't know what to tell you the truth, because I want to say this and I don't want anybody to take this wrong, okay? But this thing that's going on hasn't even started yet. You need to understand something, everyone. God loved the truckers. God loved the protesters. God loved the people that are standing up and standing in their power. But these people do not plan something for 250 years. And they already have a strategy for everything that we're going to do. Well, we need to just take our time and look like we're not coming hard onto people. And what we need to do is get the majority belief that we have tried everything with these protesters that are killing people and killing business and that are real the problem. And then once we have the majority of the population going, yeah, go and get them, then we will. So understand, that's the new plan right here, is just they know how to be patient. They know how to connect to their breath. They know how to stay calm. And that's why that little guy that thinks he's running the country up there in Canada, okay, said that, you know what, we don't want to offend anyone, but we need to try to get people's businesses open again and the streets open, and we've got to stop the honking. The honking is keeping people awake at night. So if they can sell this story like they've sold every story long enough and strong enough, they will get the majority saying, move in, bring the army in. We want our lives back, because people think that somebody's going to give their life back. So understand, it's not going to get better for a long time. And guess what? I want everybody to tell me that I was wrong. I can't wait till I am, because I'm truly meaning that. Are you still with me?
You're absolutely not wrong. And I've been trying to and applying for things from January 17th is the first time I phoned Freedom Air. And I need to, you mentioned another name.
Bravo. But understand, everyone,
Bravo.
I mentioned Freedom Air to people, and I'll mention Bravo. And I know Bravo has done some flights, and Freedom Air says that they're going to take off in the next few days here. But you got to understand, when I tell people things, if I was running that, then I'm responsible. Okay? But I'm not responsible because I'm not the pilot and I'm not the guy putting it together. So I do know, if you want, call me back after the show and I will give you the name for Bravo Air, and you can call them too.
Okay.
Yes. But I don't want to be putting things out, because then people go, well, you know what, Dr. Wolf? Know what? I know that I'm in Mexico. I know that, guess what? Nothing has changed here. Did you know that Mexico right now is on high alert with COVID because of Christmas and everybody eats such crap that they have flus and colds? But have you seen anything change? The only thing I've seen change here is that the local theater said that they weren't told to shut down, but they want to do their part. So they shut down. But have you seen any changes anywhere?
I haven't noticed anything.
No changes. There's the odd restaurant that'll have like a rope that you have to walk around it. Okay? And then even the places that go mandatory masks, just walk in. You might get one out of maybe 30 places that go, you can't shop here without a mask. So everybody walks out, don't they?
Right.
Yeah.
The bank. You have
Yeah,
to
the
wear a
bank,
mask at
the bank. But with the bank, I never put my mask on, only to the top of my lip. That's it. I never ever do this. I will never do that for anybody. I will never do it.
Yep, so nothing's really changed.
And nobody says it, you know. So nothing has really changed. So I'm just trying to tell you, look, there's been a few countries that have decided to be the litmus paper test. Okay, that's all. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Well, I want to be with my family out in Mexico. With my like-minded Lionheart family. That's where my heart is.
Do you know
and
know
I
something?
am having a really hard time getting that done.
We have over 100 people right now probably getting permanent residency here, eh? That's not so bad for only being here for 5 months. So we have people.
Exactly. And,
yeah, people
and
are figuring out that you can have a high quality life with not a lot of money. People are figuring out that that business is online now. People are figuring out,
Right.
this. I mean, we're only going to get
I'm
bigger.
an ESL teacher, Dr. Wolf.
Yeah, well, there you go. See what I mean? And you know what? We've got all kinds of office space, don't we? If somebody wants to come in here and they want to get going, you know what? We make it as easy as possible for them to get going here. And you know what? It's just like people go, well, what am I going to do when I get there? I don't have a lot of money. Well, just guess what? You get an apartment for $250, can't you? Or you can share with someone. Or, or you can get anywhere from $250 to, geez, you can pay $9,000 a month if you wanted for a place. But the reality is this, you can get a beautiful place with very little money, and it's inexpensive to live here. It really is. Is it? It is, isn't it, Lisa?
Compared to most places.
Yeah, unless you've got really bad habits. Like, when you get here and you go, oh, Mezcal, it's so cheap, $15 a quart. I think I'll drink one every day. I don't know.
Or eat 3 meals a day.
Or 3 meals a day. The thing is that you won't need to eat much because we're right by the ocean, so you're getting lots of iodine, getting lots of oxygen, and there's no chemtrails here. Not one chemtrail have I seen in 5 months. And you've got the sun every day. So, yeah, it's pretty tough.
I haven't even seen an airplane in this area. The skies are so clear and blue.
Yeah,
for the most part.
they're blue all the time, and you can see the stars at night. So, yeah, it works. Works for me.
Yes. I love being here.
Best move I ever made. Best move I ever made. And even if Canada became, oh my God, the country to go back to, I'd never go back to it because people have it all wrong. Mexico's actually the country to live in. Yeah. Have you ever felt, I've said it earlier, but have you ever felt threatened one time in Mexico?
No.
No. And everything that we've ever asked for, what do people say? Let's see how we're going to do it for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might have to practice patience, though.
You got to practice patience.
Patience for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've been taught there that we're supposed to bully everybody. And here, what you got to do is you got to talk to everybody you want things done and say, how's your family? How are you? And if you do that, then it works out okay. I didn't get that when I got here. I didn't realize that I had to become more human. Yeah.
Well, I don't care about all the stuff I want to leave behind. I want to go to my life. My life is there. My heart is there.
I got to tell you something. I could take you over, but I don't want to because it's embarrassing, and show you a whole storage room full of boxes that weren't unpacked. We've unpacked. I only brought 2 suitcases worth of clothes, and I only wear maybe half a suitcase of clothes, right? Most of the time I don't have shoes on unless I have to go to a meeting. So if you're looking for a real stick up your butt doctor, I'm not your guy. Okay? I'm not.
It's just stuff, Dr. Wolf. It's just all stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's all stuff, and they can stuff it because we're loving it. Anyways, if I can do anything for you, call me back, and I will give you Bravo's number. Okay? I just don't want to put it.
Back at this number?
Yes, I don't want to put it up online because if people call and they don't get what they want, they call and they call me names. And sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. But I want people to be upset with me anymore. Okay?
So how long should I leave it before I give you a call back?
Give me 1 hour, okay? Because I have a meeting and I'm late right now because it took us 40 minutes to get up online today. So,
well, thank you so much, Dr. Wolf. Thank you so much. I want to give you a big hug right now. Oof.
And listen, everybody, I just want to say this. I'm not perfect in the way I talk. I'm not perfect about a lot of things, but understand my heart's in the right place. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right.
Unconditionally.
Well, I'm coming out there to help out and to contribute and to meet my family that's waiting out there to meet me.
All right, sweetheart. I will do it. I will do whatever I can in my power. You know, we had a couple. What they did was they hired a helicopter, and they took a helicopter from Vancouver Island, and the helicopter landed in Seattle, outside Seattle, just outside. They got a ride to their truck, which was delivered over on a flatbed, and then they just drove down. That's what they did. So,
wow.
Yeah, okay?
Okay.
All right, love.
So I'll talk to you in about an hour.
An hour, sweetie. I got to get through this meeting. I've got people waiting outside the door.
Thank you, and thank you very much, everybody, Braveheart community. I love you, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Bye, love.
Okay. Bye.
All right, so
Yep, you got to go 20 after.
So it's not us against them.
No.
It's us for us for us.
Yep.
And we are a big us. So don't focus on what you don't want, and don't focus on what you don't like. Focus on what you like and focus on what you love, and you'll have everything that you've ever wanted. It will come. Just try to be patient. Try to connect to your Lionheart breathing. If you don't have a Braveheart band, get a little hair band and snap it every time somebody tries to control your thoughts. Because understand, if they can control your imagination, they'll control your thoughts, which controls your emotions, which controls the chemicals that you dump in your body. And if you dump the wrong chemicals, okay, then you will become a toxic waste dump.
And even gratitude for the things that weren't positive in your life. Like if I didn't go through all that stuff in my life, I wouldn't be sitting here right now with you, maybe never ever being able to understand or even comprehend unconditional love.
You need to make every trauma, every drama into a celebration. You can do it. If I can do it, if Lisa can do it, if tens of thousands of other people, Bravehearts around the world have done it, and they have, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes. This is spreading, and it's the new pandemic, and it's called unconditional love. Join me on Thursday if you'd like. I might have a show tomorrow. I just haven't figured out what that is yet. Okay? I'm just trying to get my footing here right now. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
So let me just finish with this. I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment that I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself, first and foremost, before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. I am healed. I can. I am Braveheart. God bless. And I mean God bless. Have a beautiful day.
Have a great day.
Bye now. Thank you. You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners, or even so-called whole life coaches, that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in because
How I found my brave heart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited because this is your life.
He's the first doctor that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half-truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call or a Band-Aid or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days, or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.